We're going underground with two Caterpillar machines designed for that type of work. Diecast Masters model number 85297 is the R3000H underground mining loader, and model 85516 is the AD60 underground articulated truck. To begin with, both these models come in the same very high quality style of Diecast Masters packaging, and that includes an outer shipping carton which encloses the tin wrapped in a nylon bag. The tin has very high quality photos, and it also includes information about the real machine on one side. So on we go, and let's get the lid off, which keeps the model nice and fresh. And the first thing we find inside is the small brochure which highlights the Diecast Masters Caterpillar range. But for these two models we also have something else, and that's an instruction sheet. And the reason that's included is because both of these models have working electronics, and the sheet describes how to fit the batteries and turn the electronics on and off. We will of course shed more light on the electronics a little bit later on. Next we need to dive in deep and pull out the top piece of foam, and that's a tight fit. But it's no match for the muscle men at Cranes etc. Finally we get a chance to see inside, and this one is the articulated truck. And we can then take out the pieces, which in this case include the mining truck, and also two other items. One of these is a piece of formed plastic we can use as a replica load, and the second item is a pack of batteries. For these two models, the assembly is limited to the same thing, and that's the fitting of the batteries. Firstly, we need to sedate the model to stop it rolling away, and then we turn it on its back and undo the cover for the batteries. All it takes is a small screwdriver, and there you can see 3 spaces for the batteries that are provided in a separate little blister pack. There are 3 holes for batteries, and there are 3 batteries supplied, and they just press easily into place, and then all you need to do is to replace the battery cover plate. The batteries provide power for the working lights, and there's a 3-way switch underneath which goes to on, off and timer. So let's just check that the installation is a success. The switch is on, and to turn the lights on we press on the cab roof. And then we can see the lights are on at the front and sides. There are also lights at the back. We will start underneath the loader, and the detailing looks good with the transmission visible, and the suitably big and good looking tyres are mounted on plastic hubs. At the front the big bucket is certainly impressive, and it's nicely detailed. The detailing at the pivot point is very good with hoses crossing, and it's nice to see a fire extinguisher. There's another one at the rear, and parts of the engine are also visible. And the cab is compact with a sideways seated operator, and there's a large plastic grille at the back. In terms of the materials, the cab roof and all of the handrails and grab rails are plastic, but with an excellent colour match. Moving on to the dump truck, and it also has a well detailed transmission underneath. And if we take a closer look at the switch for the lights, we can see its various settings. At the front the grille is plastic, and there's a nice painted towing hitch pin, and another good looking fire extinguisher. At the front the model looks impressive with its compact cab, detailed engine and special exhaust system. The pivot point on this model is also impressively detailed. The dump body is metal and it's large, and again it's got some nice detailing. And that includes properly perforated lifting eyes. The model also includes a shaped load insert for people who don't like to run empty. Looking underneath the body there's some good and bad, including nice rubber mud flaps, and the various hoses are soft and flexible. Not so good though is the 2-stage rams, with the middle section looking decidedly off colour. Into the Cranes etc. mine we go, and we're bending over as we film this review. The R3000H rolls very easily with the wheels fixed to common axles. There is also some slight oscillation in the rear axle. Steering across the pivot point is reasonable with the rams holding a pose, and it traces a nice curve when driven along. It's a loader, so let's see how it loads, and both the digging and carry positions are good. Let's go ahead and raise the bucket, and we have to say that on the review model at least the rams were extremely stiff. but that's preferable to too loose because it does mean that they will hold any pose. The lift height is good enough to get over the sides of the dump truck, and the only other thing to check is the tipping angle. And it seems that that is pretty good too. But the interesting feature on these models is the very good lighting. You press on the cab roof to put it on and it's LED lighting and very bright. And the lighting's also very good at the rear with extra lights under the cab roof. The AD60 is not to be outdone on the rolling stakes, and it too rolls very well. Just like the loader, the wheels are fixed to common axles, and the steering across the pivot point is fairly shallow. The pivot point is also good because it allows significant oscillation, so the machine rolls well over rough ground. The cranes etc. mine surface is exceptionally smooth, but let's try out the steering. One pleasing small aspect on the model is the moving locking bar for the steering, although it doesn't really lock. And another very good feature on the model are the access ladders and handrails. They are all plastic but with an excellent colour match, and the handrails on top all have a folded mode to keep the headroom down. But if somebody needs to get up on top and have a look round, you can unfold all of the handrails. And Diecast Masters has done a good job to implement this on the model. Of course this is a dump truck, so how well does it dump? Well, the two-stage rams controlling it are stiff, and the angle achieved is quite good, if perhaps not as much as the real truck would achieve. The other excellent feature on this model is the working lights, and they're again very bright. And both models have a timer mode which switches the lights off automatically after 20 seconds. There's one other feature which gives you some flexibility, and that's the dummy load which can be positioned in the dump body. Both these models are well presented with excellent working lights, and the underground loader is nicely detailed and well made, and overall it's very good. The dump truck shares all of the good points of the loader. The folding handrails work well, the dummy load insert gives flexibility, and all things considered, including a good price point, the AD60 is excellent.